6 rolling blackouts could have far-reaching implications for the South African economy. It starts with businesses not even being able to operate efficiently. We're joined now by the National Employers Association of South Africa's CEO, Gerhard Papenfus, and the South African Chamber of Commerce Industry President, Advocate Mtho. Thank you for being with me, gentlemen. Let me start with you. Mr. Papenfus, Advocate, I'll come to you, but Mr. Papenfus, level 6 is pretty much all bad. There's no upshot for business here unless you sell generators, right?
You know what? Nobody escapes the impact. Bigger businesses have, made provision to some extent. Green power has been installed at high cost. And you cannot reap short-term benefits from that. You can't recoup your money easily because the system just doesn't cater for that. Although you doesn't feel the brunt of the load shedding as such. But when it comes to small business, which is in more informal economies is the backbone of those economies, this is devastating. Yeah. Can you imagine if you're selling, if you've got a little shop selling milk and ice cream and butter and something like that? Can you imagine what the impact is? And that is for people that really can't afford this. It's extremely difficult. And what it's doing to the mood of the nation is very bad. It's very negative. So no, it's bad all over. It's an extremely difficult situation, and one almost can't exaggerate how difficult it is. Must be.
Yeah. Advocate, I'm sure you concur, and the Public Enterprises Minister, Pravin Gordhan, yesterday spoke about the reputation of the country. Looking at international news media, it's not only being reported that we're seeing these unprecedented cuts, it's also about sabotage, how violent some of the strike action has been. And we know there's been disruptions before, so companies must be thinking about our port in Durban, whether they want to come here, trade here, hold events here, even look at the PAP in the dark at the moment. Just how damaging is this all, Advocate?
I will agree with my colleague Gerhard and the sentiments expressed by the Minister about the reputation. It's devastating because, remember, energy is the bedrock of any modern economy. We talk about domestic industrialization, strengthening local manufacturing, and growing connectivity and other parts of mining and so on. All that depends on energy. And no international investor is going to want to come, firstly, into a market that is difficult to operate in, highly costly to operate in, and now potentially breeding a culture of economic sabotage. So it is very damaging on the reputation of the country, and it's difficult to negotiate around it because stage 6, as I said, is no longer a scary stage anymore. We are now in it for a few days, another few days to go, meaning that energy is now officially unreliable in South Africa, and you can negotiate around that. It's damaging for the country, damaging for the economy, and it's damaging for our reputation. And we're really going to, dig deep into our magic box to convince people that not only is our energy unreliable, but we can stem the culture of sabotage and riot and damage to economic infrastructure.
Let's talk about that sabotage. Staying with you, Advocate, you spoke about economic sabotage, and we're hearing that over and over again. Is this something that companies have to think about now, an extra security cost, as it were, given what we're hearing about power stations being denuded when there's load shedding, about the rail network, what's happened there, and just cable theft being rife?
It's happening well too often. I think I don't know whether we might be able to introduce a new insurance instrument to cover this, because how do you really invest or budget for the damage of line infrastructure such as ESKOM? And the problem now is that we thought we were dealing with a a generation fleet that was old, there was challenged with maintenance. But what we have seen in the past week is that even the workers now have lost confidence in the ESKOM and are able to embark on an illegal strike, and actually very symbolic of the levels of frustration and probably a trust deficit between management and workers in ESKOM. So you can't build a business model that can cushion such a sabotage, because it's way beyond your control. ESKOM is too big for you to try and operate around it. So we can't actually think about a way around it. I think we need to face the problem head on, that how can we allow ourselves for institutions such as ESKOM, and such big institutions into ruins, and we don't seem to be dealing with it with the necessary crisis mentality that they deserve. Because I'm telling you, how do you build a business without Transnet? How do you build a business without ESKOM? Yeah. And we should not actually even think of settling private sector with those things. We need to deal with the root causes of why ESKOM and Transnet are where they are.
Like you say, there's almost no business model that can absorb what we're seeing right now. Mr. Papenfus, you spoke about small businesses bearing the brunt. They are the worst affected. Let's just quickly look at other sectors of the economy, and we can't generalize too much, but the miners have historically had those low rates from ESKOM. They asked for protection. How are they being hit right now? And what about factories? I guess if you have a generator, you're okay, but your costs escalate hugely.
Well, hugely. You know, at the end of the day, it affects every element of business, but the outcome of this thing is unemployment. You know, if you have a 1 hour load shedding a day, then a business might say, you know what, I'll accommodate it. I'll find a way, I'll pay my workers and keep them busy with something else. When you lose half of your day, the story changes tremendously. You can't pay them anymore. If it's in the middle of the day, they will have to sit around, not being paid. They will lose half of the money, or more or less that, at the end of the month. The impact on that health is simply huge. It impacts on the relationship within the workplace. There's frustration from the management side and worker side. So you know what, and the frustration spills into other sectors of our society. So, you know, this thing this electricity thing is central to so many things that's happening in South Africa currently. And, you know, if you look at all the areas of our economy which is struggling and really at breaking point, we're almost entering a perfect storm. If you think about what's happening with food, while wages are reduced, the price of food is increasing, and I think we're only at the start of this thing. I mean, we're paying for food, and we're not talking food now. We're paying for food now at the good prices. When fertilizer was cheap, the price of food is going to increase, while the cuts in electricity will reduce wages. The income takeaway income will reduce. Now, you know. You can't stop a hungry man, and so you know this is impacting hugely on the way society operates. We're entering dangerous times.
All right, and it's scary to think that employment can get worse. We'll have to leave it there. Look, the minister saying yesterday in 2 or 3 years the situation could be repaired, but a whole lot of things have to go into that, and much pain in the interim. Thank you very much from the National Employers Association of South Africa. That was the CEO, Gerhard Papenfus, and from the South African Chamber of Commerce, Industry President Advocate Mtho.